Governor, how big a factor do you think name recognition will be in the race?
It's always a factor. It's very hard to overcome name recognition on a down ballot race, just because it's so expensive to run the race.
Do you expect a turnout though that could hurt your man?
That is not clear. I mean, I don't know what the turnout is going to be. I think the trouble is when you start getting into that game about turnout and who's going to do what, you're just getting into speculation. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but I don't think there's any reasonable way to speculate on what the outcome of this race is. I think what Bill's committed to is running as hard as he can in every county in the state, and that's all you can do in a race like this.
How long have you known each other, and when did you first work together?
Well, we've known each other probably since the Carter campaign, 1980. And we didn't really work together, I don't think, until you became Secretary of Administration.
That's right. No, I mean, I first met Howard. My mother saying, "You got to meet this nice young doctor who lives in the neighborhood." And the first time I met Howard, he was watching Washington Week in Review in my parents' living room, eating either brownies and/or chocolate chip cookies that day. And
by the handful.
Yeah. And then we got to know each other. Our kids were at the same daycare, preschool, and we'd see each other in the morning. And it was after I was Chittenden County State's Attorney, and Howard had become governor, and he was in touch with me and asking if I would be at all interested and willing to come over to Montpelier and work at the top of his administration. And summer of 1992, I became Secretary of Administration.
It's Bill being a little modest. What really happened was we needed a Secretary of Administration. David Wilson had agreed to do it for 1 year only because we got him out of the private sector. And my staff put on a search, and Bill was at the top of the search committee list. I had nothing to do with this picking, other than one of the things I learned as governor: if you want to do a good job, you better pay attention to your staff. So Bill was actually not picked because I knew him. Bill was picked because my very, very good staff knew him and knew what he was going to do and believed that he was the best candidate in the state for the job.
Bill, how much do you think endorsements of this nature, how much weight do they carry in this race?
Well, the big endorsement is going to be August 28th, and it's going to be the voters, and that's the one that I'm really fighting for. But I am absolutely tickled to have the endorsement of Howard Dean and Madeline Kunin, two well-known public servant, great governors for this state, and I think reflective of appreciation for the job that I've done, the energy I bring to it, and my priorities going forward.
Did you ask for other endorsements from Phil Hoff and Tom Salmon?
I have not talked to Tom Salmon. He is not going to endorse. It was suggested that I talk to Phil Hoff, that he was going to support my opponent. I did have a very pleasant conversation with Phil and Joan Hoff. I worked for Phil Hoff's U.S. Senate campaign as a paid staffer back in 1970, and I remember Phil Hoff being at the kitchen table at my folks' house back when he was running for city council and Burlington's lone rep in the legislature, and then running for governor. We go way back. I have a tremendous respect for Phil and Joan Hoff.
Governor, you obviously think that the Attorney General is doing a good job, so why do you think that TJ's campaign is picking up so much momentum?
I don't know that it is.
Well, I think he's raised quite a bit of money, he's getting some key endorsements, that kind of stuff.
The only momentum you can judge in a race like this is the race on the election on the 28th of August, so we'll see.
You think he's making it competitive, though?
Oh yeah, I think he's a good politician, absolutely. A good, capable politician.
What do you think Bill has done right in the job?
I think it's a very long list. First of all, I give him very strong marks for defending the campaign finance bill. That needs to be done. Citizens United is probably the worst thing that's happened in this country in a long, long time.
Hear, hear.
Secondly, I think there's a bunch of things. He's been the head of the National Attorney General Association. I mean, not only did he lead the anti-tobacco settlements in this state, he did it in the whole country. I think we've made something, Bill have the right number, but I think it's around $120 million, or maybe it's more than
It's
that.
actually over $300 million, and according to the settlement, as long as the Americans continue to smoke, Vermont will receive at least $25 million a year in perpetuity forever from that settlement.
And that has done an enormous amount to take care of kids. As you know, I invested an enormous amount in universal health insurance for kids 20 years ago. We still have it. And programs like this help kids not to smoke. They pay for all kinds of medical care. So that kind of thing attorneys general don't get a lot of credit for that, but without that tobacco money, we don't get some of the programs that we were able to put in for kids, anti-smoking stuff, and just plain basic health care. The other one that comes to mind is the consumer protection. Day after day, he's getting settlements coming in the door, some very small that never get in the paper, some big, of scam artists and various people who try to cheat Vermonters and have cheated Vermonters, and Bill gets money out of it and pays back some of the Vermonters some of what they were cheated out of. That's what the Attorney General's job is.
Governor, why then in 15 years do you see all of a sudden there's a race to be had?
Look, you have to ask TJ. I don't know the answer to that.
I have a question to Attorney General. Sir, I have a children. My daughter is being raped. You talked about the accountability. My daughter is being raped in the hand of the law enforcement and the civil servant, and the child I raised until high school. The school teachers, they used to tell me, Taifor, I have a child like yours, and that child is being thrown out on the street, drugs, cocaine, high school dropped out. Where is the accountability?
If you give me your contact information, sir, I will see that either Burlington Police or a criminal investigator from my office speaks with you.
That's including the
interviews
justice system, a conspiracy covered up.
you. This will not be covered up, sir.
I have in my file. I have in my file all the documents, and thrown out my life on the street. So I cannot put up my voice.
Give me your
Make
contact
my life, make
information.
a father's life miserable, so a father cannot take care of his own children.
We will do our best, sir, if you give me your contact information.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Great. So,
You want to go vote?
Yeah, I want to go vote.
This is in Chicago. We can't do it early and often.
just early.
Go down!